Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to White House Field here in Harwich, Massachusetts. This is pregame Kettle Talk with your host, as always, Sean Ellertson, joined by Matt Liberman. And Matt, let's talk about this rain out yesterday at Hyannis. What does this mean for the rest of the season? It's going to be a tough stretch for Cotuit down the home stretch.
It's really tough for pitchers because when you have pitchers, you know what days you're supposed to pitch. You have that rotation all set, and it kind of screws with you based on days off. Some guys will be getting much longer than they anticipated. Some other guys, based on the rain delays and based on having to move to double headers, might have to pitch ahead of schedule, and so you really aren't able to keep a consistent bullpen because you're constantly shuffling people around. You're shuffling people around in the rotation as well, because you also not only want to get people for days, but you want to get people for matchups as well, because if you're going against a righty dominant team, you want to go with a lefty. That's the advantage that gives you. But if that person has to then pitch on 4 days rest instead of 5 days rest, it can really mess with your entire system that you have going. And so it's not just a problem for Cotuit. I mean, it's bound to be a problem for the entire Cape League this season because there have been far more rain postponements than there have been in previous years. I know Cotuit, the only game rescheduled last night, the cancellation with Hyannis, but there's bound to be rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain all day, so every team in the league might have to reshuffle as well.
Yeah, Chase Cohen was supposed to get that start last night. We'll see when he gets the nod. And speaking of pitchers, a couple new guys for Cotuit coming up. What can you tell us about them?
Well, Josh Andrews and Mark Monclair, hailing from Grand Canyon University and Tampa University, respectively. Andrews is a lefty, has a high-velocity fastball, and Monclair a righty. He's not the tallest guy for a pitcher, but he's somebody that can certainly wheel back and fire it home if he needs to, and so it's just an example of Cotuit getting some extra pitching, like I said, because when you don't have a consistent bullpen towards the end of the season, guys leaving on innings limits, other guys having to be shuffled around into different spots. For example, like Chase Sugar, normally a reliever, is starting now, and Christian Demme the same thing might happen to him, Chase Cohen as well. You need people to fill those voids, and so these are just examples of two guys that are doing so. When you look back at the 2013 championship team, it's exactly what Cotuit did then too, just getting some extra arms late in the season that came in and gave them a spark.
And for more on those two arms, let's go down to Care Bernard, who's standing fieldside with head coach Mike Roberts.
Thanks, Sean. Now, Coach, with the rain out yesterday, we're going to be playing a lot of games in a short time span. Does this do anything to your pitching plan? Did you have to make any adjustments?
Absolutely, we've got to make adjustments, and we've got to have 7 starters in 5 days, I think it is. So we're definitely making some adjustments. We do have 2 new pitchers in today, one a reliever, one a starter, and the starter will probably go one of those ball games in the next few days. And of course, we're also waiting on the rain situation for tomorrow, our home game. I think if we were to be rained out tomorrow, we would play that game Sunday at noon, then go to Falmouth Sunday night, and we would not play the doubleheader on Monday, so the Hyannis game would be moved back later in the week. So there's a lot of shuffling of the cards right now.
Now, to talk about Josh Andrews and Mark McClure, can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, I wish I knew more. We brought them on because we understand they're great teammates. They love the game. They wanted to continue to play, certainly in pitch, after their summer season, and that's extremely important. Josh is a reliever, left-handed, out of Arizona, and Mark is a starter out of the University of Tampa, and both of them out of excellent programs. University of Tampa is probably the best Division II program in the country, and so we're excited to have them. We need them. And we'll have another young man joining us out of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, a submariner, hopefully within the next 48 hours. So those 3 young men could play an integral part and a very big part in the way we finish.
Now, we're playing a Harwich team tonight that we've seen struggle all season. How important is it going to be for you guys to get out there early and get on top and not look down at your competition tonight?
Well, it's always important to get up, but you can't dictate whether or not you're going to be up or down. I've certainly had a couple of seasons in my 14 years in Cotuit where we've struggled, but the great thing about the last week of the season is you see who really wants to play and compete, and I'm sure that that Harwich has a great group of young men. They want to win every game till they finish, just like we do. So I think it'll be a great game.
The next, or 4 out of the next 5 games for you guys are going to be on the road, and you guys have played pretty well away from Lowell Park. Is this something that you know and kind of look into when you go on the road?
Well, it's something we talk about. Teams that have a chance to win championships must play well on the road. Absolutely have to play well on the road. So I enjoy going on the road. We have beautiful ballparks in the Cape, and it's fun. It's a challenge, also, like to see what our bullpen's like late in the game on the road, because that tells you whether or not they can get it done in championship competition.
Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck today.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Karen. Now, Matt, sticking with the pitching side, but moving to tonight's game, Chase Sugar is on the mound tonight. Had the strikeout stuff working last time out against Falmouth. Can we expect the same against a porous Harwich lineup?
I think so. When you look at Chase Sugar, that's one of the big things that he is he starts with his fastball, then ends with his curveball. He's all about getting swings and misses, keeping the ball low, and like you said, that's what he did last time. In his first start of the season against Chatham, went 3 2/3, but had 9 strikeouts. So when you look at him, he's a big swing and miss pitcher, and he's constantly going to be looking for those spots. At this point in the season, where a lot of the scouts are gone, a lot of these guys are trying to just fire off their best stuff in order to pad those stats and in order to show people just a few more things of what they can do. So I would expect him just try to fire it back and try to aim low, aim for his spots, and aim for the outside corners with his curveball. I think against the Harwich lineup that you said is not good, Sean. I think that he'll get a lot of strikeouts tonight.
And this Harwich team is mathematically eliminated in that. So do you expect them to come out kind of with their heads on fire and try to play spoiler, or do you expect them to come out flat?
Well, this is one of the reasons why I would expect Sugar to really rack up the strikeouts, because since they are eliminated, they're not going to be hitting the ball conservatively. Every single hitter is going to be up there swinging for the fences, trying to pad those stats, trying to say, hey, I hit this many home runs in the Cape League. And so when you take that into perspective, that you won't see guys playing Coach Robert style, you won't see guys bunting or just trying to hit like a little sac fly, and nothing like that. These guys are going to be swinging for power, and that could lead to some balls exiting the field, but that could also lead to a bunch of strikeouts.
And now let's go back to Karen Bernard, who's standing with Mike Byrne.
Thanks, Sean. Now, Michael, I'm finally getting the chance to talk to you, as you did arrive a little late in the Cape. We'll get to that reason why in a second. First, can you kind of talk to us about your experience so far and the bond that you've been able to make with these guys?
Yeah, for sure. But first, I just want to thank you guys for all you've done. Carrie, you're the best. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, these guys have taken me in like brothers. It's been a pretty cool experience so far. That's the reason I came here. Even though I had the option maybe not to come, but I came to meet these guys and see what the Cape was about.
Now, you did arrive a little late because you were down in Florida winning a national championship. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people ask you about it. Can you kind of take us through that journey a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite an experience. I don't know what else to say. I was kind of like speechless. It still hasn't really hit me yet that we won it, but it's been a pretty cool ride, especially getting all the grief from them about winning it, so I don't mind that grief.
Now, you did make 39 appearances while at Florida, which is a lot, and you've pitched quite a bit out here already. Is pitching that regularly something that helps you stay fresh on the mound?
I don't know if it helps you stay fresh. I'm definitely a little tired at times, but especially this late in the season. But yeah, it's just been it's been fun seeing all these guys here and pitching well.
Now, like I said, you do know how it feels to win a championship. So, Michael, I'd like to know, does this Cotuit team have what it takes?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the way we were at Florida, we were all together as like brothers, and the way they are here, everyone likes each other, so there's nothing that I see us that we can't do to win.
All right, well, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Karen. Now I'm here with Matt McHugh, the other beat writer for the Cotuit Kettleers, and Matt's going to give us his keys to the game and his X Factor. So right off the bat, who is your X Factor in tonight's game?
Well, I'm going to go with Zach Cohn, one of the all-stars for the team this year. And while he hasn't played as much in the last couple days, but he's going to get a start at third base today. Taron Vavra out with a bit of a shoulder injury, and this lineup is just so flexible. They have so many guys, they can rotate through those positions, and I feel like Cohn is a very solid bat. He was so good for this team in the first few weeks, and if you can get hot in the last week to 10 days going into the playoffs, that's a huge boost for this team. So I think it's a good day for him to get going and try to stick in the lineup for the rest of the year.
We've talked about the pitching a lot, but I understand that is also your key to the game tonight, especially with Chase Sugar. Yeah,
Chase is a guy they're going to really want to have go at least 4 or 5 innings. He went into the 4th inning of his last start, and well, that was only his first start of really just college. He hasn't started since high school, so it's a matter of working him back into a starter's role. I think that last start helped. He's had about a week off since that last start, so he's had some time to rest. He's got that last start under his belt. They can get him around that 70 pitch mark, and if he can be efficient and get that into the 5th or 6th inning, that'd be huge for this team tonight.
Let's see if Chase Sugar can get into that 6th inning tonight at Harwich. First pitch at 6:30 for Carabinot, Matt Liberman, Matt McHugh. I am Sean Ellertson. Thank you for watching Pregame Kettle Talk.